fans, it's more sports back in your business. Boy, I really failed to get a stream going this weekend. I had some time, theoretically anyways, when I could have streamed, because I didn't have kids around, but yeah, just had a lot of stuff going on. It took a lot of time, so couldn't get it done, but I would like to do a stream. I might shoot for one later this week, like maybe like Wednesday night, so stay tuned. I did get a bunch of new items posted on hotcardboard.com, so please check that out. See if there's anything you're interested in. Perhaps join us on a stream, and we can open some of that stuff. Alright, so this video is inspired by a dream I had last night. I watched, I gotta look it up because I forgot the name of this movie. Whoa. I'm gonna have to edit that up. Oh gosh, stop. This is getting complicated quickly. Alright, sorry. I'm hearing things on my computer that you're not hearing. But I'm on. Okay, Leave the World Behind is this movie I was thinking of. It's on Netflix now. I think it's the #1 movie on Netflix. It's basically a post-apocalyptic or kind of apocalyptic, I guess, movie. And it made me. I watched it like right before bed, and it made me have a dream. And my dream was there was a big flood, and it was like all around my house. And I went inside, and my sports card dungeon was, you know, completely wrecked. And funnily enough, in my dream I had insurance, which I do, you know, for my cards. And there was like a guy from the insurance company there. And he was looking through my cards and stuff, you know, to see what was damaged. And this box here, which is a very important box in my collection, it's basically all of my vintage, and then a few kind of like PC sort of things. Many of which you've seen before if you've seen my like top 20 most valuable cards. But a few things, well, actually quite a few things are not in those, or are in this box, but not in those videos. However, this box was missing, and my theory in the dream I had was that one of the guys working for the insurance company like stole it. But my biggest concern, my biggest anxiety was that I didn't really have a record of what was in this box in order to, you know, claim what was gone. So I was like, I need to make a video of all the cards in this box, and that's what this video is going to be, and I'll tell you a little bit about them. Okay, 69 Topps Bob Gibson here, VG3. I put some comps on these from about the time that I got them back from grading this batch, which was, I don't know, a couple months ago, I think. These are the ones I got graded with a friend of mine who had some kind of older cards, like a Lou Alcindor rookie. So, this one is actually pretty nice, value-wise. 69 Topps. And Karen, they got a 5. I can't remember if this was in a collection I bought at a garage sale from a friend of mine who had a bunch of cards that were like his sort of childhood cards, and this was one of them in there. There was mostly commons in there, but this was one of them, and it was pretty nicely, you know, stored or sure it was at nice condition. So I sent that in. I would get this. I don't know. I would bet this is down a little bit right now. The kind of market, the vintage market was at a peak when I looked these up. I think 68 tops, Mantle, graded PSA 2 in this order. I sent in kind of every Mickey Mantle card I had. Really just only wanting to get a PSA 1, just to get them encapsulated. Because any kind of 60s PSA Mantle, you know, used to be at least worth like 75 bucks. Now they're worth like 120 bucks plus. Well, this is a 2, so I guess we'll see what the ones showed up as price-wise. This one also got a 2, 66 tops Mantle. Here's a 2 with a qualifier, MK qualifier. So that one comped at 150. I guess I thought I had some PSA 1 Mantles in there, but maybe not. Oh well. Here's a 62 tops Yogi Berra PSA 5. Comped at 80 bucks. 60 tops McCovey, Willie McCovey rookie, pretty cool card. PSA 2 with a MK qualifier. The MK qualifier means there's like a mark, like a, in this case, it looks like somebody wrote like, I don't know what that, OJ or something maybe. JJ, I don't know. JT maybe. On there. I think we're about two more, and we're done with these vintage ones that I sent in with my last order. There's a 60 tops Brooks Robinson PSA 4. I think that's like his rookies are in 57 tops. So a few years off of that. Willie Mays 72 tops PSA 3. 35 bucks. Now, this one's pretty cool recently because, of course, Juan Soto is now New York Yankee, which is my favorite team. A lot of the modern cards in here, or not a lot of them, but at least a good handful of them are Yankees, you know, since they're PC cards, personal collection. But anyway, I've had this for a while. A long time ago, I bought a case of 2018 Topps Heritage High Number. Pulled this. It was a redemption. Luckily, I'd opened it in time. Because a few of those boxes from that case I ended up keeping, you know, after the redemptions would have expired. But this one I pulled in time, sent it in, and God, I thought I had a pretty good chance at a 10. It's only like a tish off centering wise, but other than that, it's freaking perfect. So I was kind of pissed I got a PSA 9, but still a cool card. Once upon a time, the Heritage Real One autographs were a pretty like, you know, top end kind of card to have of a rookie, but the interest in those has fallen pretty significantly. This one I've probably shown before. It's the only Derek Jeter autograph that I have, and it's a PSA 10 with Scott Rowland, who recently was inducted in the past couple of years, I think, into the Hall of Fame. So it's kind of cool that this is a dual Hall of Fame auto, and it's a PSA 10. I got this, yeah, looked this up in September and kind of guessed at a comp based on like maybe a raw sale and something else. I mean, there's just not a lot of these out there, but I got this in trade for, I don't know what, it was probably some Luka Doncic cards. I had some autos of him that I ended up kind of getting rid of at the wrong time, but oh well. Here's a pretty cool Ohtani color swap. So the Angels is normally in yellow, I think, and this one is in white. So pretty rare. About a year or so ago, I found this like in a just a kind of miscellaneous box of cards, like a large monster box with a bunch of commons and stuff, some minor stars. And I pulled it out, and I was like, hey, that looks a little different. And looked it up, sure enough, it was a color swap, which it says team color there. And yeah, sent it in for grading. And again, I think it was just sitting like raw in this box, and I was kind of shocked it got a 10, but I'm glad it did. Obviously, there'll be some excitement around him if he starts the season off hot with the Dodgers, but who knows if that'll happen. 48 Bowman, Stan Musial, rookie PSA 2. I think I think September was roughly when I posted that video on my most valuable cards. So I think that's when these are from. So yeah, once upon a time, probably in 2019, I was trying to sell this at a card show for this amount of the sticker, $325, and it looks like it was worth $890 back in September. So things have definitely gone up, and makes you wish you would have just splurged on some nice vintage stuff, but oh well. Ja Morant. Once upon a time, this was like a $3,500 card. Very nice. Auto rookie card from 2019 Select. I pulled this from a pack. It was a redemption. I sent it in, got the redemption like years after, like it was 2021, I think, when I finally got this redeemed, and then I had it ungraded for a very long time. It comes in a case, a mag case. When you get it back from Panini, and it's got a sticker seal on it, so I was like, maybe I'll just keep it like that and sell it that way. But I don't know. I was sending some other cards in. I thought, you know what, the PSA 9 is worth a bit more than the raw, so let me just get this in a PSA 9 holder and call it good. And came back at 10, which was great. It was worth about $1,000 back earlier this year. I think when he gets close to making his return from his suspension from being a doofus on social media, there might be a slight uptick in value, but I wouldn't be shocked if this was down significantly from 1,000, just because the NBA, the market for NBA cards is like so abysmal right now. It's not even funny. Here's a nice bat down Acuna. Gosh, okay, I paid $1,100 for this. It was, at one point, this was another $3,000 card back in like 2020 or 2021. Back in September, $1,100. And that was when, the Braves were still in the playoff hunt, and you had hopes of Acuna seeing another fall classic, so I'm guessing this is probably selling for less than $1,100, probably not a ton less. I feel like this card, this is a SP, by the way, in case you're wondering why such a, base card is worth so much, but it is an SP, so it's about 1 per case out of 2018 Topps Series 2, which I have a sealed case of, by the way, so I have another one of these in there somewhere hiding, but I don't know if I'll ever open that to get it out. Now we're going to get, I can see these cards are actually being pulled out in the order they were in for my last, top 20 most valuable cards. So this is a really cool Hans Wagner that has the same portrait as his T206 tobacco card. That's the most valuable card in the sports card world. And I paid $2,000 for it. At one point it was worth $1,680. But I think that comp was based on like really, really, really old values that came out of vintagecardprices.com. So it was never really accurate. And so far it was using comps from like 5-6 years ago. But anyways, on 923 there was a decent comp on this, so about 12,000. There's a couple variations of this. This is the pastel background, and there's also a blue background, which has a really nice bold blue background behind him. Also, I think it is graded like this, graded, and that one is worth like 2 to 3 times more than this one. So, would love to have bought the blue one back when I did, but yeah, this one was probably a bit cheaper. So I really wanted to have a card that, had the same photo as the T206, because I'm like, how's that not going to go up in value? Alright, here's, I think this is, well, I guess this one is probably my most valuable card, but this might be, it's tough to come up with comps, because it's a weird grade, you know, it's an altered authentic. And anyways, this is a Babe Ruth card showing him in a Red Sox jersey, even though it's identifying New York as his team. So this is like right after he was, you know, sold to the Yankees. And somehow got a comp of 10,000 on 923. But I don't know how, you know, accurate, if there was actually an altered version of this for sale. By the way, the reason it is speculated by those who commented on this card before I bought it, the reason it was speculated to be altered is there's appears to be some, you know, somebody like wrote over this B in baseball stars with a marker, which if you just had a, you know, a black marker right here, it would be an MK qualifier. It would probably be a PSA 1 MK, but because it's over, you know, lettering, and theoretically it's an attempt to, you know, make the lettering look not faded, they give it an altered instead of an MK, and then no number grading. So, like, I've always thought, you know, you could just basically take an adhesive, stick it on, like a strong adhesive, stick it on there, rip it off, so you just have paper loss. Resubmit this, and it should be a PSA 1. But I would not probably attempt such a thing. I'm just going to keep that nice and safe in this case. So we got a ton of Ty Cobb cards. There's a sweet cap roll, graded 2.5 on the current scale of SGC. Another sweet cap, 2.5 in a newer SGC holder. So you may not think it, but 2.5 is a relatively high grade for a tobacco card like this. So these have kind of crazy comps, like $8,000 for this card, which is sort of nuts, but I paid $17.50 for it. Another sweet cap, a little bit lower grade, PSA 2 this time. That one was $4,500 at last check. And this one's kind of cool. It's an old mill, which is one of the kind of medium rare, it sounds like a steak, medium rare variations of backs that you can get on the reverse of a T206 card. This one's only a 1.5, but $4,500, so the same price as a 2.0 sweet cap roll, which is a much more common back. And you really just don't see these old mills around that much, so I'm super happy to have that in the collection. I think I have another old mill somewhere. This is a Willie Mays 52 Tops. I consider this to be one of the most iconic cards in the collection, probably top like 15 or 10 cards up there with, you know, the 52 Mantle, the Napoleon LaJoie, 34 Gaudy, you know, a bunch of Babe Ruth cards. I just think this one is, you know, one of those cards that a lot of people are familiar with, because you'll see it on the cover of, you know, price guides and baseball card magazines back in the 80s and 90s. And it's just a beautiful card that has really, you know, been a very good investment. I paid $500 for this probably, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, 7 years ago maybe. And the value in September was up to $7,200, so pretty nuts, pretty nuts. It's I believe this is from the high number series. I don't know how many cards are in this set, but 261 doesn't seem like a high number. But I thought this was in the high number series, just like the Mantle, but I might be wrong. Here we have yet another Ty Cobb PSA 2 sweet cap. I think the PSA 2s just kind of go for a little bit more. I think this number designation refers to the 350 to 460 subjects language on here. Some of the sweet cap rules say something different, and some of the times the number of subjects it identifies is like a rarer version of the card, so it might be a kind of a rarer sweet cap roll. But in any event, comped out at $5,400. Alright, we just got this stack left in the first half of the box here. Another sweet cap. This one again, so this has the 350 subjects instead of the 350 to 460 subjects, so you can see the variations there. And this is a 1.5. And it comped for, yeah, a little bit less than the 2, so I don't know, it might just be the grades that are determining the price differences here between these very similar cards with slight variations. Here's a Piedmont 350. I think there's a very common version of this T206 Cobb, so 4,500 the value on that one. The greenback version of this card is relatively rare compared to the red. It's one of those kind of always highly sought after cards for any, pre-war collector or Ty Cobb collector. So they've been jacked up in price for, a long time compared to the price of the reds. And boy, I just could never seem to find one for a reasonable price. But all of these Cobbs you see I bought together in one lot, it was like $25,000. But right now these cards are probably worth like $60 or $70 or $80,000. So it was a very good investment. But included in it was this green Cobb with, unfortunately, some pretty obvious pinholes, especially on his face there, right around the mouth. But, it's the only green Cobb I think I was ever going to come in contact with. PSA 1, lowest grade, $4,300. Here's the beautiful bat off-shoulder Cobb with this very nice kind of sunset in the background. I always thought that was very aesthetically pleasing. This is a PSA 2. It's in an older holder, so it doesn't have the hologram on the front like these do. It's just got a big hologram on the back there. It says Collector's Universe. This is a cool one. So this is a but a pretty darn rare back. And it's beat to hell, but it's still got a good value because of this rarity of the Tolstoy back on this one. So, and the face is relatively unobscured, which is nice. A lot of the damage is around the kind of edges. I don't know, just a cool looking car. I love these rare back Tolstoys. So this one looks like comped out at 4,000. I don't know, super happy to have this and like the old mills in my collection. Here's Polar Bear. That's kind of a just slightly more rare than like the Piedmonts and the Sweet Caporal T206 cards, but relatively low grade here. So it's probably one of the lowest price Cobbs that I have at only $3,100 in value. And here's that other old mill that I thought I had, coming in at $3,000. Yet another Piedmont, $3,000 for PSA 1. Here's this is the same card as that Ty Cobb that I had at the beginning, rather close to the beginning of the video here. It's a M116, comes from Sporting Life magazine. And this is also the pastel background. I can't remember if there's other color variations of this card. I think there are, but I don't think it's blue. It's like some other color. Relatively high grade as a SGC 4. So 2,500 is the comp. That one. This one's really cool. It's a pretty dang nice condition. SGC 4.5 52 Bowman. Willie Mays, so second year Bowman card of Willie Mays 2,100. I think that's a relative bargain for this card, considering that the PSA 1.5 52 tops is like a $7,000 card. So this is the same year, way better condition, goes for a third, less than a third of the price. So good deal right there, I think, even today. And I'm sure, I don't know what I paid for this, but I think I paid like $500 for this. Here's a 54 Bowman, beautiful Mickey Mouse. This one's relatively nicely centered. Some of these are pretty awfully centered. It's a PSA 4, comped this at $1,620, paid $470 for it. So pretty nice investment there. And yeah, really beautiful early 50s mantle. There's Here's a Shohei Ohtani. This might be the most valuable Shohei Ohtani I have. It's not really that valuable, but it's just more valuable than the others that I have. A lot of kind of low-end Ohtanis. But Atomic Refractor, Bowman's best rookie card. These are pretty highly sought after. A lot of people really like the Atomics. So these have a pretty nice value, and the PSA 10s are particularly good. So 1,200 is what the comp was back in September. I assume that's down a little bit. His stuff kind of went, down maybe 10% after his injury, and sort of stayed there for a while. Then when he was signed by the Dodgers, it's kind of ticked up a little bit, and I suspect what you'll see with Acuna, Soto, Ohtani, any of the real big name stars in baseball is, as we get closer to opening day, their prices are going to go up as people want to pick those up, before the season starts to hopefully get in before, those guys go on hot streaks. So yeah, so this video I kind of started with the Heat because those cards just happen to be amongst the first that I pulled, but those, like the Babe Ruth card, all those Cobbs, the Honus Wagner, like those are my most valuable cards. Now we're going to see kind of a lot of, crappier vintage, but all vintage is good vintage, I say. So we got just kind of a couple of 52 tops commons here. Don Bullwig and Johnny Bucha. I got these in like deals where I bought a lot of cards, like 3 or 4 cards at once, and I didn't really want these, but they were in there, so why not? I don't know, I think 52 tops is such an iconic set, such a cool piece of sports card history, that even having a common card from that set is worth, I think, doing. And these happen to be graded. I got these both graded, so I did not send these in. Would not be really worth it. But anyways, same story with this one. Just really a common, but a very cool common. This is 1915 Cracker Jack. There's some pretty awesome cards in this set. Ty Cobb is in this set. I think Honus Wagner is in this set. Joe Jackson is in the 1914 set. I think he might be in 15 too. But yeah, 14 and 15 Cracker Jack, again, very iconic sets. There's a couple of cards in there that I would consider like top 15 most iconic baseball cards in the game. So this is the only Cracker Jack card I have. I'd love to have some of the stars in Cracker Jacks. Maybe that's something I'll look into for 2024. But yeah, just hanging on to this because it's sort of a cool card to have from an awesome set. We got a let's see, a Paul Molitor rookie. I don't know when so it's a Alan Trammell rookie too, so pretty cool there. But yeah, I don't know, I probably picked that up in a lot as well. A lot of these kind of lower end vintage cards are one they picked up in a larger collection, maybe 5-6 cards. And there was 2 or 3 I really wanted, but I bought the rest of them just because they came along for the ride. Got a second year Topps Reggie Jackson, graded PSA 5, pretty nice condition. 66 Topps Ernie Banks, PSA 5. Here's a Gaylord Perry rookie. I bought this card, I think, really because I just love I love this 63 Rookie Stars design, because Pete Rose has a card in the 63 Rookie Stars subset, which when I started collecting, Pete Rose was like, a god among men back in '86. And because '85 was when he set the, he beat the all-time hits record. So his stuff was just, on fire, and boy, the idea of having a rookie card of his, which back then was probably selling for like $500 or something. But, there's no, I was buying like, okay, I got someone at my door. I'm gonna go get that and I'll be right back. Okay, that was just the post office dropping a package. Anyways, yeah, this reminds me of the Pete Rose rookie. So, this is an older PSA case as well, no hologram on the front. Great PSA 7. There's a Gil Hodges 65 Topps PSA 2. Carly Yastrzemski PSA 6 69 Topps. This one's kind of a cool, older Ted Williams 56 Topps. Only a PSA 1. I think I had this graded myself. So, just wanted to kind of verify the authenticity. So here's the second of two 54 Bowman mantles. This one is like perfectly centered. I have to think this would get a premium based on the centering. But surface is a little bit weaker than that other one. There's a little green kind of, I don't know what that is, a printer's mark or something there. But really cool looking card. Glad I have two of those, so maybe I'll sell one someday. Get something else, get something different. There's a Yogi Berra rookie card, 48 Bowman. Very cool card and pretty nicely centered too. 63 Topps Mickey Mantle, PSA 3, which is pretty nice. This is probably one I sent in. You know that I bought raw. I don't know, a bunch of years ago I bought a bunch of these just raw off eBay, hoping that they weren't like trimmed or something. And just had them laying around, and I think every single one I ordered, you know, graded, like not trimmed. Obviously they're low grade, but I would say I did pretty well on those. Here's another one, 64 Topps, PSA 1, very off-centered. And again, you know, I have to feel like there's always like a floor, a value, a price floor for like any 60s Topps mantle graded PSA 1. And like right now, I think that floor is probably like 100 or 120 bucks. And in the past, it's been maybe like 70 bucks. You know, this one, this price tag again was probably from like 2019. And so back then it was probably about 65 bucks. So, I don't know, and the floor just keeps going up, you know. So I kind of feel like if someone sold, you know, said like I have 100 Mickey Mantles, they're just all 60s, different years, but they're all 60s. They're all PSA 1. You know, would you buy them for 100 bucks a piece? I would probably say absolutely, because I just think it's gonna go up and up and up. There's just not that many of these cards out there, especially by today's standards. So there's a 2.5 1968. Here's a pretty cool Mike Schmidt rookie card, graded PSA 6. I'm probably gonna have to cut this video short, or maybe continue it on another day. But just want to kind of breeze through. Second year, Mike Schmidt there. Sandy Koufax, 1960, graded PSA 4.5. I've never really looked up values on a lot of these lower end cards, so I don't really know, you know, if they're worth any more than what I bought them for. Alright, let's try to get through a bunch here. 65 Topps, Aaron PSA 6, 65 Topps, Roger Maris PSA 8. That might be one of the higher graded vintage cards I own. 58 Topps, Willie Mays with some surface issues. Christy Mathewson, PSA 1. That's a sweet Caprol. This one I picked up just in the last year or so, actually probably the last half year. You know, I realized that many of the, you know, vintage baseball cards I was interested in, a lot of rookies or older cards of, you know, superstars, were just kind of getting crazy, you know, inflated, but comparatively, like Hall of Fame rookie cards of basketball players and football players and hockey players are quite low. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go and buy some kind of mid-grade Hall of Fame rookie cards. I didn't get that far, but I did get this one. I can't remember what I paid for. I feel like it was, man, I feel like it was maybe 500 bucks or something for this, but I don't know. Who doesn't love Walter Payton? So happy to have a rookie him. Thurman Thomas, PSA 6 rookie card. Roger Maris, PSA 5, 61 tops. That was the year he hit 61 home runs. Killebrew, PSA 6, 63 tops. Maris, PSA 5. A rare BVG holder. I got a few of these, like in a repack, I think. So Don Larson threw a perfect game in the World Series. Richie Ashburn, 53 Bowman. 1960 batting leaders, 61 tops. You got Willie Mays. Oh man, I don't know who this Larker guy is, but apparently he was the National League runner-up. Dick Rote, I think that is. And then Clemente and Mays. And then a 68 tops game. Aaron, 5.5. Okay, another kind of round of relatively newly graded. I think maybe in the past year and a half I've graded these. So this one I bought, you know, raw at a card show. It says altered. Not sure why they do that instead of like some other like mark or something like that, but 51 Bowman. Yeah, these two I bought. I was actually out in New York, and I went. There's a very large card show that's pretty regular there. I think it's at like Pace University. It's out like on Long Island, and you know I'd always heard about it, but I was out there with a friend visiting and had a free day, and so I went to the city, went to that card show, and bought those from a big vintage dealer that just had tons and tons of stuff. And there's a 69 Hank Aaron, 68 Pete Rose. That's one I would have loved to have back in '86. More kind of cheapo mantles. I want to kind of pull out all my cheapo mantles and put them next to each other. There's a PSA 4, not bad at all. 66 tops. Wow, look at this. I got 3 66 tops. One is a 4, one's a 2, and one is a 1. So pretty sweet there. 67 tops, Mantle. I'm sorry, Mays. 59 tops, Mays. 64 tops, Mays. 67 tops, Mantle. What do I think? Clemente, PSA 2. And a 65 Clemente. Okay, last batch. I think we're gonna get through it all. Hopefully I'll never have to use this video for insurance. Roberto, 65. Another one of those 61 Maris cards. This one's a 3. 60 tops, Maris. Obviously 4. 65 Maris. Maris is from Fargo, where I live and record from. Let's see if it says that. It says home. Doesn't say where he's born. So there's a lot of interest in Mantle around where I am. So if I ever do a card show, you know, I definitely trot those out. That was a 64. And then the last couple, some really wacky BCCG. I should probably crack these out because like BCCGs are so like silly. They're great. They're numbers. They're great numbers. Like kind of mean nothing. This could be anywhere between a PSA like 5 and a PSA 9, I think. So, anyways, this was kind of cool. It's a Larry Bird rookie card. It's not the one with Magic Johnson, but it's actually this third of the big card. So this Larry Bird section of it is exactly the same as what's on that Magic Johnson, Julius Erving card that, you know, people are very familiar with. So as far as I'm concerned, that's definitely a Larry Bird rookie card. Just happens to not be next to a Magic Johnson rookie card. And this is 82 tops Cal Ripken rookie card. This would probably be like a PSA 6, maybe a 7 if I'm having a good day. This one has really sharp corners. So I think this might be a PSA 7, and, you know, knock on wood, you get a PSA 8, so I'm probably going to have to crack these out at some point even send them in because they're just kind of useless in BCCG holders. There's just no comps, and if there are, they could be wacky. So yeah, BCCG is sort of a silly concept. They still do BCCG grading. It's like this silly kind of bulk, economy grading that Beckett grading does. That I don't know, like basically only people do it are people who make like repacks and want to have cards graded but don't want to pay for like a legit grading service. So they use BCCG. I should say it's a, they're graded by Beckett, so it's a legit service, but it's not a legit like product they're offering. There you have it, folks. There's a big box of cards. I think the total value of all the cards in here is, probably north of 200,000. But I've not edited it up, so I don't know for sure. I'm gonna put 200,000 in the thumbnail though, because one thing I've learned is people like pictures of bubblegum and high dollar values in titles of videos, so I'll be using that as much as I can. That's what we got for today, folks. Please do give a like and subscribe if you have not already, and maybe we'll see you on the next live stream. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it. Bye now.